live with the community. This is the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform Development bi-weekly call. It's our last M365 and Power Platform bi-weekly call of May. It is May 23rd. How in the world did this happen? This month, our year is just flying by. But we are excited because we get new technology with that advancement. So let's talk about what we're going to talk about in this call. In our agenda, we're going to have some latest updates on the community. We're going to see the latest updates on PnP.NET libraries, PowerShell. We're going to talk about some script samples, Power Platform samples. We're going to picture time with Together Mode, everybody's favorite time. So get those fantastic faces ready to go. And then our three all-star presenters of the day. Markus is going to cover handling action-based data retrieval and selection with the teams and M365 messaging extensions. So packed in there, Markus. Thank you. Mohamed, by the way, is a first-time presenter on the call. So we're going to show him lots of love, and he's going to talk about Dataflows, the underrated tool in Power Platform. And Michael's going to round it out with managing message center triage with Planner. So we've got a well-rounded collection of demos today that we are super excited about. But first, let's talk about some resources that are available to each and every one of you for the low cost of free. Yes, that is true. In fact, we've got a community learning videos. We'll talk about that more in a moment here, but it's a YouTube account that is a collection of all kinds of community learning opportunities made by Microsoft, by the community, hosts these demos as well. So it's a great one-stop shop to get all those wonderful videos that you want to binge watch over the weekend. I know I do. So come on, join me. Then we've got our LinkedIn group for discussions. Now, this is an opportunity to interact on LinkedIn. We've got a company page as well as a group, so it's a wonderful collaborative way, and open source initiatives and projects. So things like CLI for Microsoft 365, PnP.js, all kinds of stuff, PnP PowerShell, wonderful projects that are here to assist you and make working with our technologies even better. And then I mentioned those samples. We've got thousands of samples. Yes, thousands, because you all are amazing contributors and have helped get us there. And they cover a wide spectrum of topics like team samples, SPFX web parts and extensions, Power Platform samples, list formatting. The list, see what I did there? Goes on and on and on. So it is absolutely free. And you don't got to remember all those URLs. Nope. All you got to do is remember one. That is aka.ms/community, which is all of you /home. So put that in your browser, bookmark it. And in fact, it's got a cool new look in case you hadn't noticed. We've refreshed our site. Big thanks to Stefan Bauer and Hugo Bernier. We've got a fresh new look and feel that kind of covers the broad spectrum of what we have under the Microsoft umbrella. So it includes color schemes and patterns from both Microsoft 365 and Power Platform, and a wonderful way to keep track of all the new upcoming events, latest blog posts, all of our community calls. So go, again, bookmark this. Make sure you check it regularly. We absolutely have done this for you, and big thanks to everyone who helped out. Now, I mentioned that new Microsoft Community Learning channel. You may think, oh my goodness, another new channel. No, don't worry. We have just renamed the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform Community YouTube channel to Microsoft Community Learning. What this does is it kind of better aligns with what it is that we are doing with this particular YouTube account, which is, of course, showcasing all the amazing work that you're doing in the community. So it includes all kinds of stuff, like the shows that Vesa is running, PnP Weekly, as well as a number of other shows and demos like this and other things that you all are doing in the community. So you'll see that kind of continuing to grow and mature with lots of community goodness. So make sure you subscribe and like and all those good things that you do with YouTube. Now, you're on this call because you like community calls, and of course, we like community calls. So we are excited to remind you that there are more community calls, because who doesn't want more, right? We all want more. Power up. So the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform weekly call is each Tuesday at 8 a.m. This is unique because it is Microsoft speakers only. So you're going to get it directly from those product managers and program managers and people building the software that we use and love every single day. Don't hesitate to join. Get this added to your calendar. You can do that at the community home URL. Make sure you're there every Tuesday. Now, we're going to be going on break here soon, but we'll make sure we update everybody on those dates as we get there for just that call, Then we've got our monthly Power Platform call, which happens on the third Wednesday of every month. We've got our Office add-ins, which is also a monthly call. We've got another monthly call coming up soon, so I will actually just kind of sneak preview that. Is a new technology that we're going to be starting a community call for, so everybody's excited for that, and I think we'll be excited to bring it to you soon. Then, of course, we've got our bi-weekly sibling calls, so the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform Community, which is what you are on right now. So just in case you were wondering, where am I? You're in the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform Community call. And the bi-weekly Viva Connections and SharePoint Framework, which will happen next Thursday. These calls, very rarely go on break. One of us has to be dead for that to happen, because we were bringing this to you all the time, every week of the year, including Thanksgiving and all those other holidays that you think, well, maybe they're taking a break. Nope, we're here for you. Global community, sun never sets on this community, so we are here for you every single week. You can count on it. So get those recurrent invites, aka.ms/community/calls. We've also got our meetup that you can be part of, and that will help you see the agendas for those calls. So go join those meetups as well. Speaking of that Microsoft call on Tuesdays, the next one coming up is going to be some build information, right? We're building the anticipation. Okay. Anyways, Bob German will be back. He'll be talking about Copilot plugins, an update from Microsoft Build, and Mark Wendell will be here talking about SharePoint embedded updates from Microsoft Build. So get that on your calendar. Be sure to be there, and we will see you. Now you're thinking, there's a lot of cool people doing a lot of cool things on these calls. How does that happen? Well, we invite everyone to present. In fact, everyone. Yes, I said everyone. That includes you. Now you may be thinking, do I have to do something weird and unique and never seen before? Like, I don't know, sculpting Beyonce out of a piece of cheese? Yeah, it's a thing apparently. But no, you don't have to. We want you to share the things that you are passionate about. That, of course, within the scope of the technology, not Beyonce cheese. But anyways, you do not have to show how time travel is possible. If you have got a favorite feature or a technique or something that you feel is worthy of showing off, even if someone else has shown it off, don't hesitate. We want to ensure that you are empowered to do this. Others in the community will absolutely benefit by it. If you're benefiting and you've learned something, I guarantee someone else will. And if you've never presented before and you want a buddy, let us know in the comments. We will buddy you up with an MVP or another member of Microsoft, and you will craft that presentation together. And then if you'd like, you can even present it together. So you've got that confidence and you're going to go in feeling great. You're going to come out feeling awesome, and the community is going to love it. So don't second guess it. Don't overthink it. Go to ak.ms/community/request/demo, fill in the form, and we will get you hooked up. And in case you were wondering how all these samples get created and how do people learn how to contribute, well, we've got Sharing is Caring. And we kicked this off back this week. On Monday, we had a Sharing is Caring session on Power Platform and M365 Samples Contributor. It was a great session. We had over 40 register, and it was a really exciting opportunity to get involved. Lots of people joined. It was interactive. We shared screens. And again, if you're wondering what Sharing is Caring is, if you've never been here or been there, it is a program that is here to provide hands-on guidance. So that means we're going to walk you through together on a Teams call how to do things like submit a sample to GitHub and fill out and create a pull request. And you may even think, I don't even know what those words are. We're going to teach you, and you're going to be empowered leaving that call to contribute to the community. And it's a safe space, which means we don't record it, because we know that sometimes when things are recorded, it's a little unsettling to ask questions because you think everybody must know this question or this answer, so I'm not even going to ask the question. Don't record it. Safe space, great place to meet others in the community that are passionate and like-minded like you are. So check it out, ak.ms. We are going to be setting up that next schedule here in the next couple of days. And we are excited to get everybody on board that wants to be there. I know some on this call have been here, or been there on Monday, so don't hesitate to get signed up, and we'll alert everybody when it's ready. And then, of course, our community recognition program. This is a program that we cover the cost for. It is absolutely free for the community. It is powered by Credly, which is a for-profit business, but we cover those costs because we want to recognize the amazing work that you're doing. So go get opted in if you haven't already, ak.ms/community/recognition. We're working on some new achievements that are going to be fun. Of course, we have been announcing our new badge, which is the Multiverse Contributor, which means that if you contribute across multiple repos, you're going to get credit for that, and you're going to get a unique badge. Of course, we've got all our other ones for CLI and SPFX, list formatting, Power Platform, all that good stuff, and we're going to be doing some fun new ones throughout the rest of the year. So get signed up, ak.ms/community/recognition. Only need to do it once, and we will make sure we track in a way cool way all the amazing work that you're doing and recognize you. Okay, let's move into some project-specific updates, and we're going to kick it off with PNP.NET libraries with Bert.
Awesome. Thank you, David. For the PNP.NET libraries, we had some good contributions from Stefan and Daniel. So for the Course Decay side, Stefan did work to make it easy to get the correlation ID when doing a request, like support wants a collation ID, how do you get it? So now that's pretty easy. And we actually made it more generic, so any request response header can be easily captured now for any type of request that you made across the key. So it's really cool. Daniel did work on the Teams creation, make it more flexible. I think he's doing cases where they do something for like education, and now that's all supported. So thanks for that, Daniel. And then finally, Gautam did bump the Microsoft Identity Client to latest version because we want to be as secure as possible. Overall, usage is good. So yeah, and in general, like if you like PNP Core is pretty stable. If you miss certain things, let us know. And with that, let's move to PowerShell. I think Gautam is in the call.
He is out today, so we're going to cover it for him. But did you want to cover it or do you want me to cover it?
No, go ahead.
Okay, all right. So v2.4.0 is out. Lots of updates and improvements and fixes. It's been a busy week with build and all kinds of things leading up to it. So Gautam will be back soon to give us those updates. But 18.3 million downloads, 140 million commandlets executed per day. I think they're doing something right here. I think this does something right. So this is one of the OG programs for our community. Definitely must use this if you do anything with PowerShell. I see Todd celebrating because he loves PowerShell. So there's some new stuff in the nightly builds, PNP Group 365 or PNP Microsoft 365 group, and as well as PNP Group Manager. So reach out. It is open for contributions. It is absolutely a fantastic tool as well as collaborative area to contribute to the community. Don't hesitate to get involved, and Gautam is really, really welcoming for that. Speaking of another welcoming project and program, let's move over to script samples with Paul Bullock.
Thank you, David. So Script Samples is a repository where you can store your PowerShell scripts or Bash scripts with the community. So we've got nearly 264 scenarios where different sort of actions you can take against the M365 platform. You're using a variety of tools and scripts such as Graph, PNP PowerShell, SPO Management Shell, CLI, and many, many more. And if there's other types that are missing, then they can be we can expand the site accordingly. And all these samples are integrated in Solution Gallery, so you can get that all in one space as well. So we've got a couple of new scripts for you, some awesome scripts. So we got for PNP PowerShell, we've got Repair ID Mismatch for users across all sites by Alvario. And then we've got delete SharePoint online sites that have retention polos by Wacamo. So that's pretty cool stuff. So thank you very much for those contributions. Please make sure that if we do come with badges. So we've created the 2024 set of badges there on the screen there. So if you're due a badge, make sure that you opt in so that we can receive that, and we'll send those out when we do the next run. But if you need anything from me, or you've got feedback on the site, or you think something's missing, by all means, either reach out via the GitHub's issues list, or Twitter, or X, or any other sort of platform, or sort of LinkedIn as well. My handle's there at PK Bullock. So if you want to reach out and get any support, then I'll be happy to help. Back to you, David.
Awesome, thank you, Paul. Yeah, and I love those new badges for script samples as well. So another initiative with badges. All right, let's move over to Power Platform samples with Kate.
Hey, hello. So the Power Platform Sample Solutions Gallery provides a many more. You can access these resources, and moreover, you can add your own contributions by following the link that you see on the slide here. And all samples are available for free and designed for ease of use. And by the way, we are close to reaching 50 samples in our gallery, and your contribution could be the milestone 50th. So I encourage you to share more, and we are eager to see what you've built. If you have any questions or need assistance, please follow the link or contact me directly. I'm here to help you, and let's grow together. Back to you, David.
Woo, thank you, Kate. Awesome. Okay. All right, everybody, let's get those cameras turned on and do some together mode.
Yes. And let me share my screen. Now that we're at home, it starts looking positive. I already saw some faces. There we go. It's looking good. Yes. Brilliant. And I can see a cat. Awesome. We do have 50 seats in the room. Let me put the Camtasia here waiting. Let's wait a few more seconds as we're filling up the room. Super pixel perfect people today. This is really good. Or maybe it's not the people, it's actually what we're broadcasting. Good job, David and Todd on the middle. Few more seconds, let's wait a few more seconds and we'll get the first, there we go, few more seats and I will put the recording on. Let's do some hand waving, everybody. Thank you for joining on the community call. Say, excellent, excellent. Hand waving, hand waving, hand waving. Excellent. We'll grab a GIF animation out of that and share it in the social media. Thank you for joining on the community call. Great job on setting up the scene, David and Todd. With
we're
five. So
playing patty cake. Actually,
yeah.
It's what we do. It's just a normal thing. All right, we are going to perfect timing right now. So we're going to kick it off with Markus. He's going to cover handling action-based data retrieval and selection with the teams and M365 messaging extension. Markus, take it away.
Yes, I'm here, and I can share my screen. Yeah, I hope that you can see it.
Yep,
Today
looks great.
I'm going to bring an action-based Teams messaging extension, and this one is created with Teams Code Toolkit for Visual Studio. Short thing about me. I think most of you know me already, so nothing really to illustrate. Correctly explain my demo. I want to select the product for the task module, post it as an adaptive card in the first step, and then let someone vote order from the adaptive card to another adaptive card. Normally, I would directly jump in with my demo here, but today let me show you another slide because I want to really illustrate before the user experience from an action-based extension, because there are two things. You might know the search-based message extensions because they recently became very popular as Copilot plugins. Nevertheless, also the action-based ones can be used as Copilot plugins. And also, in the recent samples, most of the time, adaptive cards were used and not task modules. But task modules have a great benefit in terms of UI experience because you can do more complex stuff with it. So this is the explanation up front. Come on. Now let's jump into my demo. Make it quick and short. I have my application already right here. Can open it. Make it really quick. You know, from any kind of compose box where the app is installed, you can open a messaging extension right here. Took a bit longer because I don't know. Nevertheless, here you can see the difference between an adaptive card and this much richer UI. And even I reduced my scenario a bit. It can be much more complex. Here you have a details list. Everything is realized with Fluent UI. You can also reduce this list. And you can now select one of the products and submit an order. Not really work. Actually helps. But again, I hope you can cut it out. Oh, sorry. Don't have any kind of idea what's going on here. Sorry. Yesterday I did so many times after it didn't work. I think to have to break it in. No idea. Ask them. No, sorry. Cannot tell you what's wrong here. I think we have to go on. We can continue because at the very end I can show you a video of it in my repository, how it looks like. Sorry for that. So let's flip back to the slides. How it should work. So one of the challenges of this action-based scenarios together with this task module. So what you have seen with your UI, Fluent UI stuff, or you can of course use any other kind of UI framework, is currently with Teams Toolkit, you cannot easily mix two capabilities. So to mix a message-based extension on the one hand, which is more backend, and front-end UI like a tab on the other hand. Yeah, and here you have two solution scenarios, which are really not templates out of the box. On the left side, you see the Sharp-based ones, and on the right side, you see the Node.js ones, which is even much harder to realize, I found out. And that's, that's the current case and the current challenge. The only thing what you really have to care about on the front end, of course, you have to care about the UI capabilities, front end lists, loading, blah blah. But that's not really the problem. The only thing here is that you finally have to submit your result so that your product that gets ordered reaches the backend where you can where you should normally you haven't seen that yet, but where it should normally being incorporated. From an architectural point of view, it works the case that first, it looks a bit weird, but first when the messaging extension is called, and this is what you have seen with the UI, the first one, this is done from the bot, on the upper right side. And then you see the first UI. This is what you have seen. But what you have not seen in this demo anymore was when the product got submitted, then the second method in the bot framework was called, and this would have produced a result like an adaptive card in the middle of the screen. And then after an order should have taken place, and then the final result should have been the third one. Some miscellaneous points with Teams Toolkit, which I faced with this scenario, which I mean by more or less created in two versions. Which you have seen that 2 slides ago. I created for C# and also for Node.js. Is of course the mixing things, but also they are partially behind. So the Teams JS SDK, for instance, partially was much behind the current version, and this I had to cover because the submit dialog URL is not really in good shape in older versions. Also the Fluent UI version, you should take care for much newer ones than delivered by the by the template coming from Teams Toolkit. Also, if you want to use it, especially or in the C# version, if you want to use JS interop, then not all functions from Teams JS SDK are covered. So you have to either reproduce them or simply use script code inside your HTML. Yeah? Then 2 versions for the manifest are applicable, still valid for when you want to use these Teams managing extensions in Outlook. Then you have to use, so it's 1.13 or above. And if you want to have more sections about Copilot already, then you have to use 1.17. There you have more semantic descriptions or param descriptions inside there. And this was recently published. But all things on this slide are, of course, a moving target. And this might change for months after months, because especially Teams Toolkit is moving around. And on the one hand, it's good. But on the other hand, it's also hard, because it's hard to find the new architecture coming back after 2 months that I have seen. And yeah, it's really, as said, a moving hard target. Last but not least, the code, only one sample is getting the data from an Azure table. This is split up into 2 things. So at first, you need a client, and second, you need to get all products. This was a sample code, but you can also, as you have seen in the UI, you can also go and get orderable products or non-orderable products, and also the update code looks quite the same here, and the rest I omitted to show here. This is what you can find in your sample. Okay, some resources. 2 blog posts about the creating, one for C# and the other one for Node.js. Last but not least, the PNP sample. I will try to jump in there and quickly show you how it would look like in a simple div. Here you see how it should look like. Or you can order something. You see you have already ordered 14 plus 3. The result is 17. So that was from my side. Very, very sorry that this time my demo didn't work. Yeah. No, don't know what happened, but hope you forgive me. Thanks for your attention.
Awesome, Markus. Yeah, you had a perfect backup, man. So no worries. This build week, who knows what little beeps and bops are going on server side to cause issues. So your demo was flawless and perfect, and we love you for it. So excellent job. Everybody, those links are in the chat, and we'll include them in the show notes as well. All right, well, let's move on to Mohamed, who's making his community call debut. So let's show him all the community love. Unlocking the power of Dataflows, the underrated tool and Power Platform. Mohamed, take it away.
Many thanks, Dave. I hope you guys can see me and hear me quite well.
Yep.
Perfect. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for having me here in this amazing community. It's my first time. I hope to see you also again in the upcoming sessions. Quick introduction about myself. So my name is Mohamed Abdelsattar. I'm from Avanade. I'm a solution architect in the area of Microsoft 365 and Power Platform. And I'm here based on Germany, Düsseldorf. So moving forward, in my agenda today, I would like to introduce you one of the hidden gems from my perspective. So everybody's talking about Power Platform, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, but Dataflow could also save your life if you are dealing with Dataverse or model-driven apps or Dynamics 365. So a really cool tool and really cool feature. I personally like it. So introduction into Dataflows, key features and capabilities, also business values, and definitely use cases and how we used it in our project. And finally, I would end up with a quick and small demo. Introduction, what Dataflow is all about. Dataflow is basically a tool within the Power Platform toolkit or set of tools. You basically can use it to load data or synchronize data or migrate data from any system to Dataverse. Dataflows could help you to connect to this data, make a transformation of the data, and finally get this data ingested into your database if you have an application based on Microsoft Dataverse. These data flows either could be scheduled, so you can schedule it to run on a regular basis, like weekly, daily, yearly, you can decide, or also you can run this manually on demand in case you need such or it's needed in such a case. It's basically no code, business loves it. So you can just transform the data, consolidate it in a single place from different sources, and serve this into the data-driven application. Key features and capabilities. Dataflows make it easy to decouple the data transformation logic into a single place with a really robust no-code engine. It comes directly or runs directly on the cloud. So all computation will be done on the cloud with all the computation power, so you can imagine. Also, it comes with so many possibilities to connect to the data. So you can connect to an Excel file, you can connect to a CSV file to a SQL database, even to another Dataverse. So you can basically use it to Azure, definitely. And you can see this in the screenshot here. Most of these connections, and definitely SharePoint, so you can basically connect to literally nearly everything, and then you can consolidate this data and make a transformation, and then you can get this prepared and ingested. What do you need for this is basically nothing. You just need your license to the Power Platform. It comes directly if you have like a Dataverse license, or if you have per user license, per app license. So you get it by default. So you don't need to pay something extra here. And then you just need your browser. So no really sophisticated infrastructure or no tools required here. In one of our projects with our clients, actually, we did something like this. So just for you to give you some ideas how we can use it. You still can definitely combine Dataflows with other technologies. As example, here we combine this with the Outlook. So we have like a flow running every day. Or actually one of the systems like sending us like a list of, let's say, products on daily basis as an Excel file. They share it with us on an email. So we get this processed via email or from the email mailbox. We process this file and we get it ingested into a SharePoint on a regular basis. And then from the SharePoint, we are actually getting our data and making it ready for the Dataverse to be updated or to be added to the Dataverse. So just imagine automating a process like this, how simple it is with Power Platform, with the help of Power Platform, and how complex if you would like to utilize this or if you want to accomplish the same outside. Definitely also not limited to this, but also SharePoint. So SharePoint is one of the data sources we are using either to store the files or to have the data directly in a SharePoint list. So master data, as example, could be read or could be added from different SharePoint lists. As example, in this project, we have the currencies, and then we can connect, or Dataflow will make it possible for you to connect to the SharePoint and grab the data into the Dataverse. Definitely also SQL Server taking a big portion of it, and then it's possible either with a SQL on Azure or a SQL on-premise, you can connect to it and grab the data again, consolidate the data, transform the data in the way you want, and then you put it into the Dataverse. Next is the demo. So I have a quick one to show you how you can create a data flow, how to consolidate data, and what comes with the engine out of the box. So let me switch to my demo tenant. So for the, I hope you can see already, Microsoft or make.powerapps.
Yep, showing up great.
All right, so for this, I have prepared just for you to understand the demo. So I have prepared like 3 tables, country, industry, organization information, just as a sample, and then I created this data flow to get the data from a CSV file. I have it, and then we can get the data from there. So let me show you how to create a data flow. So typically you come to the Maker portal, you go to the data flows, and then you create a new data flow, you give it a name. So demo data flow, and then I give it 2. And then here you land to this screen. Actually, you see the way of data connection. So you can connect to Excel, text, or whatever possibility. It's even supporting ODBC data. It also can support APIs, and can support also SharePoint and even blank table if you want to start with a blank table. You can also come here and upload a file, and then what will happen here is that you will get this file up to the OneDrive first of all, and then from the OneDrive you can connect to it. So this is what I'm doing now. I'm uploading a CSV file. I have like 100 records in this CSV file, and then uploading it so that I can build on top. And then I'm clicking next. So just collecting data. Definitely you can, it's possible that you do it with other way of connection. So you can get one table or more here, and here it comes to this window. When it comes to this window, so you can basically play with the data in the way you want. So very powerful engine, very powerful way of playing with the data in the same way like the Power BI. As example, you could you can, as example here, remove duplicates. So this is one of the options. Like Excel, you can keep rows, you can keep top rows, like you want to select like the top 1,000 rows. You can filter the row based on any filter criteria, like remove empty as example, or begins with or contains. You can also do group by, so you can group by your table and bring something out of it. Like as example, if you want to have like a unique list, let's say of the country, so you can just group by the country, and then you can get as example the count of or the sum of let's say the number of employees per the country, and then you can say okay, total number of employees, and then this will include like a transformation step here to group by. Then you can see as example per country what kind of or how many employees are there, and then you can get a unique list of the countries. You can also remove it, so you back one step. So if you are dealing with Power BI and this Power Query, so you should basically know this, but it's very powerful one. You can also like have multiple tables. You can combine multiple tables with merge, like you can do an outer join or an inner join. This will all allow you to be done here. Also, like adding custom columns, or if you want to add an index column as example directly. So this is quite easy to accomplish here. I mean, that's how to prepare the data. So you you connect to the data, transform the data, refine it, clean it, do whatever you want with the data. Then you click on next. Actually, there is like two different data flows. One on the Power BI, which actually ends here. So you have the data in what's so-called data lake. But here in the Power Platform, it's a bit different. So the intention here in the Power Platform, on the Power Apps, that you will basically load this data somewhere in the Dataverse. So you can either create a new table, or you can do with an existing table, and then you can basically just select one of your tables here. As example, let's say organization. I have one already created. Yeah, this one here. And then, first of all, you define a key for your table. I will let you know what does it mean, this key, just to ensure the uniqueness of this record, and that also it can decide, or the engine can decide, either it's an update or an addition operation. You can also auto map, so it will be mapped directly. All the columns will be mapped directly. You still can do the country, and then you can do the others. Of course, you need to double check this. And then the number of employees as example, organization ID. And then you can click on next. Then it will ask you basically if you want to manually refresh, and if something is happening, then or a failure happens here, you can then still send the notification to the Dataflow owner. Or you can also refresh it automatically, so you can decide, okay, on which schedule it should run. And in the same way, you can also send the notification directly from here. Let me back here. So I have it run already. We don't need to wait or to run it. I just show you this refresh history. So I managed to upload like 100K records already. I mean, I even tried it with the real projects with millions of records, so like a couple of millions, and it's really working fine. So you can also see here like a report tells you, okay, how many rows has been updated, or how many rows has been created for this particular table. Also, if something was failed, then something like this. Then you can see, okay, where exactly is the error, and it even provides you with like how many rows was updated, how many created, and how many failed, and then you can just iterate through whatever failed, and then check where is the problem, and then you can fix it. So really powerful engine, and you can just use it, and when you use it, you would definitely love it. Back to my slides. So I just want to give you also my tips and tricks and takeaways from a project, just to recap what Dataflow is. So Dataflow will help you without a complicated infrastructure in the background. So people who are dealing with data know what I mean. Like you would need to have Databricks or whatever infrastructure required and license in the background. So this comes out of the box. You don't need anything if you have like the Power Platform already in place. It supports a wide range of possible connection, as we see, or as we saw, enables on-the-go aggregation, filtering, and data cleansing and sorting. It supports actually both addition and updation operation, so you can add or update, so it's not only add. Allows for both schedule and on-demand runs, definitely, and handle basic or all basic data types, such as text, numbers, choices, Even complicated or complex data types like lookups, like multi-choice and so on, this all can be handled here. And last but not least, the data flows can be definitely migrated, exported, imported, and bundled all into a solution. So you can move it across environments, and this is really awesome. My time is up. Here are some references from Microsoft if you want to learn more about the data flows. And with this, thank you, and back to you, Dave.
Mohamed, excellent job. Really appreciate it. Fantastic. You would have fooled us all that you're a seasoned pro on this. So we welcome you back to future calls. Excellent job. We really, really appreciate it. Okay, we are perfectly on time. So let's move over to Michael on managing message center triage with Planner. Michael, take it away.
Hello there. Okay, let me make sure that everyone can see my screen. I'm going to try to turn my camera on. Yes,
yep, and it is working. Showing up, by the way, so you're good to go.
Okay. So welcome, everyone. This talk is a little different than the last two you've heard. For one, it is about configuration and not code. So the second is it's about creating a business process to manage change in your tenant. So if I can get a show of hearts from the people in the audience here who are their primary focus is developers, and if I can get applause from people who have an IT pro role, such as managing the tenant, global admin, exchange admin, that kind of service owner. So yeah, if everybody can just give me a quick heart or applause, depending on if you're an IT pro role, give me that applause. And if you're a developer, show me your heart. And I saw like one of each. Both, then applause or do a laugh because you're doing too much. Okay, so for those of you that are developers, I would ask that when we're done with this topic, that you go and talk to the admins in your organization that manage M365 and make sure someone is managing Message Center. For those of you who are IT pros, this is some tools to help you manage Message Center. So Message Center is this place where Microsoft announces all the changes that they make. And what I'm going to talk about, as I said, is creating a business process for managing those, which really is about getting people to do stuff. And that those things are tasks, and that's why Planner is such a good fit for this. So first of all, hopefully everyone here is familiar with Message Center, but if you aren't, Message Center, as I said, is the primary way that Microsoft communicates changes to changes in your tenant to the admins in the tenant. So you have to have some kind of admin role. That could be a Message Center reader or a reports reader or a support role. It doesn't have to be global tenant admin in order to access Message Center. Message Center is in the Microsoft Admin Center, but you need to have some kind of elevated permission to get there. This is important because M365 is evergreen. Last year, in the tenant that I oversee, there were over 1,400 change announcements last year. So that is actually, we had 1,433 change announcements that we went through in Triage last year. And what that averages out to is that every week there are 28 changes to M365 announced. And so that's why it's important to pay attention to these, because if you don't, you will get surprised. And sometimes the surprises are pleasant. A new feature shows up, and sometimes they're not. A feature deprecation. For example, a few years ago, Microsoft announced the deprecation of legacy workflows in SharePoint. And had we not read that Message Center and scrambled to rewrite a bunch of workflows into Power Automate, we would have had a very nasty surprise one day when all the workflows stopped working. So that's why paying attention to Message Center is so important. It is how Microsoft communicates change to you. Now, if you are a medium to large organization, if you've got multiple people in IT managing M365, then Message Center Triage is a team sport. And that's where Planner comes into play. And these 20 plus messages per week, what happens is that you can have those exported automatically from Message Center into a Planner plan. And the way you do that is in Message Center, there is this little Planner syncing link that opens up this task pane where you can configure how Message Center syncs to Planner. And so you can force it to do an immediate sync, you can schedule the sync, and you can pick which plan and which bucket in the plan messages get set into. And you can also filter which messages go through that process. So that is incredibly important to set up. Now, once you have these messages in a Planner plan, what I've done in the last several organizations that I've been with is set up a weekly meeting of the service owners. So a service owner is someone who is responsible for a particular workload in M365. So you probably have a team or an individual responsible, depending on the size of your organization, responsible for SharePoint, OneDrive, Exchange Online, Teams, Power Platform, Windows, Office. And another piece of this process is there are some changes that are significant enough that if you're an enterprise with a mature change control process, you may have a CAB, a change approval board, you have a change review process, you may have change requests that use a third-party tool like ServiceNow to process. Some of the changes that come to M365 that you find out about through Message Center and or through Planner, if you're reading them in Planner, need to go into that enterprise change management process. And so what I do is I get our service owners together on a weekly basis and we read through the 28 new messages each week, again on average, and decide what to do about them. And that can be, oh, this service owner needs to go research what's really this message about, something improvement in Exchange means, or needs to take action because support for an insecure protocol is being retired, or SharePoint admin needs to go do something, or the Teams admin needs to do something. So assigning these changes to the people who need to look at them, and that also can include people outside of IT, like or who work closely with IT, such as your internal communications team, who may need to communicate to end users about these changes. So the process you need to put in place is at least a weekly review of these changes, which again you can do in Planner very nicely because it treats each change as a task. Now, there are pros and cons to this approach, and different organizations will treat this more or less urgently, like some more sophisticated organizations or may do this review on a daily basis instead of weekly basis. Other organizations struggle to do it monthly, especially if you're a one-person IT shop for a small organization. You don't have the bandwidth to sit there and triage 28 requests every week generally, and there's no point in treating them as tasks if you're just going to assign them to yourselves. So the pros and cons of a weekly review, the pros is with a bunch of stakeholders is you get everybody's eyes on all the changes and you talk about them and you develop this sort of group consciousness about what's changing. The cons is that if there's a change for Teams or let's say Power Platform that is completely unrelated to Exchange, you're potentially wasting the Exchange admin's time having them in that meeting. So there are ways to come up with your own rules for how you want to process these changes. And I'll talk about some of the alternatives in a minute here. But the primary out-of-the-box tool at this point is Planner. And when you put messages in Planner through this sync, what you're getting is you're getting them in a place that's more accessible to more people, and you're being able to treat them as tasks. Now, over time, you will take each message, and you could be a group of people, but you take each message and assign it to the concerned party involved. So again, the Exchange changes go to the Exchange admin, the PowerPoint changes go to the Office apps admin, the SharePoint changes go to the SharePoint admin, et cetera, and you do that mapping by assigning those tasks to Planner. That becomes a machine learning opportunity if you wanted to set that up, and hopefully the product team that runs the M365 Admin Center recognizes that as well, and in fact that's feedback I've given them, that the data in Planner that you develop once you've assigned a bunch of tasks to your service owners becomes potentially a training set where you could train a machine to figure out what the assignments are, and that could save you a lot of time. So there are some alternatives to Planner. Again, if you're a one-person IT shop, there's no point in assigning a bunch of tasks to yourself. You can also, in the Message Center settings, that's this link here next to the Planner sync. You can subscribe to a weekly email subscription and process the change announcement just by reading email. There are also third-party options. So there are some, at least one ISV out there that's made a software solution to help you manage Message Center changes. And then there are services vendors where if you have more money than time, you can outsource it and have other people watching Message Center for you, alerting you when there's impactful changes. There are a couple of other resources that I want to bring to your attention. Daniel and Daryl run the M365 Message Center show, which you can catch on YouTube or in podcast channels. And every week they talk about the changes that come through. So that's yet another way to consume this information. There's also a maturity model article that I've co-authored on managing change in M365. And you can also look at a previous SlideShare, a PowerPoint deck I posted to SlideShare about managing change in not just teams really, but your whole tenancy. So I've talked a lot about this and showed you pictures, but let's go and look at what this actually looks like. So here is Message Center in the M365 Admin Center. I'll point out that I'm visiting this at admin.cloud.microsoft instead of admin.microsoft.com, just because this is the newer URL they are moving to, and you would have found out about that by reading Message Center. So in our navigation here, below reports under health, let me scroll this up. Come on. Precision mouse here. Why is this? There we go. Under this one, so you've got health, service health. So if you want to know if something's down, you can look there. But under here's where you find Message Center. Click that and it takes you to this. And this is where you see all the messages in Message Center. So you can see right now there's over 600 of them there. And this is an okay way to look at an individual message. But again, if you're trying to play change management as a team sport, this is not a great way to manage them. Some of the things you can do in Message Center, you can archive the message, which just moves it to your other tab, share it. So you can do that to send it by email. You can copy a link to it, but only people with sufficient admin rights can get into it. Mark is unread. Probably the most important thing here is at the very bottom, you can give a thumbs up or thumbs down and answer some questions and provide some feedback, and Microsoft may contact you about that feedback if you let them. So the next thing I want to show you is what this looks like in Planner. So here we are in a planner plan. This is one I've named Message Center Triage. And I've got a bucket called New Message Center Posts, and Message Center posts have been arriving in the bucket. And I see that we are very low on time. So I'm just going to click here real quick, show you, let's try it again. So the nice thing about Planner is tasks have a structure, and you get all that structure there, although it doesn't capture all the metadata all that well. Some of it goes into the notes. Some more sophisticated organizations do take Message Center posts and put them in lists, and then can work with the full set of metadata. Let's do this. Here's the website for the Message Center show. Here's the article on the maturity model. And here's the slide deck that I mentioned previously. So again, being mindful of time. Let's go back to the deck here, and I will just leave you with this one thought, which is someone in your tenancy must be looking at Message Center, whether it's directly at Message Center, subscribing to the email summary of it, or using Planner to manage it as a team sport. You need to look at Message Center. If you want to talk about Message Center more, you're welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. I also am a co-organizer of Microsoft 365 Community Day Chicago, which is July 20th. That will be a hybrid event. And our call for speakers for that ends on May 26th, which is coming up real soon here. Find out more about the event at m365chicago.com. Thank you.
Awesome, Michael. Really, really love this. Is very, very powerful. We all have trouble keeping up with the changes and the new things. So really great thing. I plan, see what I did there? I plan on looking into it more myself. So thank you very, very much. And huge thank you to all of our presenters today. Markus, Mohamed, Michael. We got the 3 M's of awesomeness today. So thank you all for attending and presenting and sharing your passion with the community. It is much appreciated, and we would not have these calls without folks like you. So thank you all. All right, so let's wrap this call up. There is our Discord channel, over 2,000 plus members now. 2,000! Yes, this is a fantastic way. We have a community dedicated Discord server. So you can tell your kids that you are cool and wow them with words of Discord, and they'll be like, wow, mom and dad are awesome. So go get joined in there. It is free. It is a great way to collaborate on multiple topics in kind of a one-stop shop. We would love to get some feedback from you as well. If you've already attended, or excuse me, submitted the feedback, we'd still love to hear if things are still going well for you. Lets our management know that we are doing a good job and that you all appreciate this, so that we continue to have further investments in this. The recording will be available in 24 hours on the Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel. You can subscribe today if you go to ak.ms/community/videos or /YouTube. Definitely do that, because you will be alerted as soon as it drops. And we try to get it out always within 24 hours or less, usually much sooner. And you will be alerted as soon as it happens. If you're told in Teams that it's ready for the recording is ready for download and you're not a Microsoft employee, won't be able to download it. So best way is to go like and subscribe at YouTube to our channel. You can also follow us on X for the updates, M365PNP, or of course join that LinkedIn group where we will alert as well. The next Microsoft 365 Power Platform bi-weekly call will be in June. We'll be, wow, almost halfway into the year. June 6th at 7 a.m., 2 weeks from today. Next Viva Connection SharePoint Framework, May 30th. Next Thursday, 7 a.m. Pacific time. Again, get those invites at ak.ms/community/calls. Get them on your calendar so that you can be here with us every week for the great time that we have. Thank you all for being the amazing contributors you are, attending today and supporting our presenters. We'd love you to be next. Have a great rest of your week and a wonderful long weekend for those in the States, and a wonderful weekend for everyone worldwide. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, David. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.